Hey Masked Singer fans, what's going on? Joey here. Today was a crazy day when it comes to the Masked Singer. So many things were announced. We got a brand new commercial with a lot of stuff in it. We got 3 new costumes, most of which we actually saw previews for before, but now we officially get names. And then there was a couple articles that were kind of spun out of us talking about the themes and the different kinds of formats we're gonna have. For this video, we're only going to talk about the 3 costumes because there's a lot to break down. Then tomorrow, we'll break down the commercial. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. First and foremost, thank you to the, and I'm not exaggerating, 122 people that sent me a message today saying, oh my gosh, Joey, look at this, look at that. There's so many new things that are coming out. I appreciate it. I wasn't home, so I just got home about a half an hour ago, and so I figured, let's sit down, let's talk about the costumes, and then tomorrow we'll talk about the commercial. So I do have to say that there's a lot of things going around when it comes to these costumes. And over the past weekend, you guys have said to me, Joey, they're not releasing things. We've got 2 weeks until showtime. And how many costumes? What's going on? Well, the video we did the other day, we said that there's 22 singers. They said singers, not costumes, but 22 singers. And I pretty much told you from the get-go when we saw the first commercial that the Mummies costume looks like there's 3 different people. And guess what? I was right. The costumes that they showed us for the, the X-ray or the masquerade show us 3 different mummies at different heights, 1 lead in the middle and then 2 on the sides. Look at this costume. These guys are gorgeous, right? All the details are perfect. Now, they're just called the Mummies. Actually, they did hashtag Mummies Masks, and they did the mask ray, and then they point out a certain clue in the middle of these costumes. And if you look deep into the middle one, you'll see, I actually have it playing on a loop behind me, it looks like it says Ka-statue. I don't know what that means. Ka-statue? K-A statue. Does that mean anything to anyone? Because it didn't to me. But back to these costumes, the designs are gorgeous. This looks like 3 men, just from the way that they're standing and the way that they're dressed. So I would assume that these are pharaohs, right? Right? They have to be extremely well-known pharaohs, singers, and it's a group. So a group of 3 men. Now, it is safe to say that it's probably going to be a male group, 3 or more. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, Joey, is it possible that they threw 3 random singers together? Well, I mean, in a way, yes. Anything is possible on this show. Do I think they did that? Probably not, just because that would be really hard to try to guess 3 individual people who are performing as a group. Though, I have to admit, it'd be cool if they did like an NSYNC and Backstreet Boys things kind of together, or 98 Degrees, or maybe, there's so many boy bands out there. It'd be really cool if they could maybe put one of each group together, and then it'd be really interesting to try to figure them all out. And, keep in mind that, we still have 1 episode for these 3 people that perform, and the other ones got to get revealed. So it's going to be really interesting, and that also brings up another thing about the format, which once again, we'll talk about that tomorrow, because I was reading it and talking how it's going to be a battle, singing the same song. It is going to be really interesting when it comes to how they're doing this season, and so far, I like it. Anyway, so let's go back further in the day. The next costume we saw was the Hedgehog. And I told you it was a hedgehog. A lot of people were like, it's a beaver. No. The commercial we saw, the 3rd commercial we saw was the back of that costume, and it was an H. And a lot of you guys, maybe it's a B. No, and I kept on saying, it's a hedgehog, and it is a hedgehog. This costume is absolutely gorgeous. It's interesting. I'm trying to figure out, is it like a cowboy kind of version of it? Because the shirt of it kind of reminds me of like a cowboy bedazzled black shirt. Something like Garth Brooks would have worn, like maybe in the late 90s in his like darker phase. But then on top, it's not a cowboy hat. It's like one of those British hats, right? Like the cab drivers kind of wear. But I love it. This thing is tall. It is massive. This costume, I'm kind of hoping whoever's wearing it's one of the blow-up ones, because this thing has to be extremely heavy to wear. I mean, just looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, they're either really tall or really strong, which leads me to believe that this is going to be a male or a man singing in here. It doesn't really give a name except for just Hedgehog, and I called him a bear, I'm so sorry. Hedgehog. Doesn't have a name except for just the Hedgehog. And so, I mean, I like the Hedgehog. And of course, they did the masquerade, and we have the video playing. And you'll see it zooms in over his shoulder, and it shows a carrot. A carrot. I don't know anyone except for Carrot Head that'd be like this, unless they're trying to joke and kind of say that this person has red hair. Is this a guy with red hair? Is it possible? I have no idea, but just, I mean, once again, we don't really have clues except for that. That's just kind of based on what I'm just thinking. So that is that costume, and then the next costume, which was introduced, which was, I mean, we've seen this costume before since the first commercial, Scarecrow. Though it's more of a pumpkin than a scarecrow. I don't really know. It's kind of up to you to decide. I haven't seen many scarecrows with a pumpkin head. I honestly love this costume. I'm a big Halloween guy. I mean, I already have my Halloween lights for the backdrop. Julie and I actually have pumpkins and fall and all these other things kind of ready around the house. I got this thing back here, which for those who are fans of the Haunted Mansion, like I am, and a lot of you guys are probably saying, wait a minute, isn't that the same sound that they use in Stranger Things? I believe it is, but Disney's Haunted Mansions had this first. I love this. The Haunted Mansion is such a good... Oh, and it lights up too. You can see the eyes light up. Anyway, let's talk about the Scarecrow. I love the pumpkin head. I love the hat, the Scarecrow. This is a perfect costume. Absolutely love it. And when it comes to the masquerade, they zoom in and it looks like a crow on his shoulder. Is it a singer with its name? You know, crow. Could it be Sheryl Crow? Could it be someone else? You know, one thing you have to realize when it comes to these costumes and these performers, for the most part, they were on another show called Dancing with the Stars, or maybe other celebrities that have been on other reality TV shows, or maybe celebrities that are releasing albums, or celebrities that were in Hollywood for about 2 weeks, and, you know, they're not normally there, and it's kind of weird that they're there, and, it's, you know, it's kind of adding up that you kind of know who's under these masks before the show even starts. But anyway, there is a crow on the shoulder of the Scarecrow. So you have to say to yourself, what kind of clue is that? Right? It's going to be a good clue. But anyway, those are the 3 new costumes we got today. The Mummies, the Hedgehog, and the Scarecrow. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I know what you're saying, Joey. There was also pandas in that commercial. We're going to talk about the pandas another time. And Joey, those pandas, there were like 3 of them singing. Yes, I know. We'll talk about the pandas and the commercial and the singing and everything else tomorrow. So stay tuned. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. Stay safe, guys. 2 more weeks to go. See you later. Bye.